Welcome everyone, we hope you had a great holiday. For everyone that's here in the States, happy Thanksgiving last week. I got my boy Zero. What's up, buddy? Did you have some good food?
I did have some good food, and the best part was I didn't have to make any of it.
So today we are featuring the new burb. So in every generation they come out with a new bird, whether it's, Pidgeotto, Swellow, Hoot Hoot, you name them all, right? This is Kilowattrel. So Wattrel and Kilowattrel. Please do feel free to smash that like. Subscribe if it's a red button for you. Hit that bell button to stay notified every time the PMC puts up a brand new how to use guide for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So what do we got here, Zero? So it's flying and electric type.
Flying and electric.
Wow. Are we looking at a great Pokemon? So on paper, it doesn't look like much. But 125 speed, brother. Tell the folks at home how powerful that is.
125 speed, if I'm doing the math correctly, it's really fast.
Yeah, that's going to be 383 at level 100, which is insanely fast, right? This outspeeds...
I can actually give you every Pokemon that outspeeds this Pokemon. Those would be Talonflame, Jolteon, Ice-Q, Fluttermane, Chien-Pao, Koraidon, Miraidon, Barraskewda, Iron Bundle, Dragapult, and Electrode. So, like, 10-ish Pokemon.
And if you don't count
the
Koraidon and Miraidon.
Right. So, just everything that's relevant, like 8 Pokemon. That's about it.
Yeah. So, that's pretty legit. Thanks for that, man. And then we have 105 Special Attack, which is actually pretty legit, right? Pretty decent typing in terms of defensive, right? Like, actually, Flying Electric is a really legit defensive typing, even though he's squishy. The typing's legit, which actually makes him a bit less squishy than what you'd expect. I've been using this Pokemon
fighting
a
moves,
lot.
Switching on ground moves, and if you go Volt Absorb, you can switch in on electric moves.
Yeah, dude, great shout. Speaking of that, let's talk about his abilities. So he's got 3 of them: Wind Power, which is a brand new ability, Volt Absorb, and Competitive. So let's go through them real quick, Zero. Let's knock the first one out. Let's not bury the lead. Wind Power is kind of trash.
Yeah, the one situation I think that we talked about where it might be good is if it activated while in a Tailwind, but the text doesn't specify that
it's not
that's
confirmed
a thing.
whether or not that's how it works yet.
You're relying on getting hit.
If you get hit by the wind move, you are then, and on screen, we'll obviously pull up, what the heck is a wind move? It's like flying type? No. They basically, like, with the Iron Fist ability, or with the brand new one that we'll talk about, Sharpness, and now these new wind ones, there's like these little subcategories of moves. So, like, all the Iron Fist boosted moves are punching moves only, and they don't all have punch in the name. Not everything with wind in the name. So, as you can see on screen here, there's a couple of weird ones, like just Sandstorm alone is a wind move. So, I'm assuming that means you could just click Sandstorm next to an ally, and then this thing will activate its buff.
We'll see if we see some Kilowattrel rock Sandstorm meta teams.
There's some really, really useful moves on here. There are a couple. Hurricane, Heat Wave, Blizzard, Air Cutter, like I said, Icy Wind, and then depending on how it works for Tailwind, like there are some really good options that you'll see a lot of people use, like spread moves like that in VGC, that you'll just be basically, you know what I mean? You charge by the wind moves and buff, but the problem is the buff that it gives. It's not a stat buff, it's not a permanent anything, it's just the next electric type move you use does more damage, and
you still take the damage too, so it's like
you're
relying on you're getting hit and taking damage to boost just electric type moves. So it's a lot of conditions for not a lot of return.
Yeah, Bramblegast, his ability means that you're immune to the wind moves.
Yikes.
So Kilowattrel, what he does have is Volt Absorb and Competitive. Now Volt Absorb is obviously great. If you get hit by an electric type move, you're immune to the damage, and instead you heal. Really
which is amazing.
What it is. Free switches. And then Competitive. Now, in past generations, Intimidate has been basically top tier in VGC and 3v3s all the time. Some of the top most used mons of all time in both formats have always been Intimidate mons. Right now in the usage stats, early 2 weeks into Scarlet and Violet, 3v3 has not been seeing as much intimidates as VGC, but VGC is still seeing a lot. So competitive means that if you have any stat drops, it's basically the special version of Defiant. You gain +2 special attack. So you're gaining a nasty plot when they come in and intimidate your bird with competitive. You've seen us use this on the channel before with Galarian Articuno.
Of that bird.
So this is our new competitive special attacker. So really, really, really powerful. And because Defiant got the nerf to where it can only be used once, and if you get intimidated, then it balances out to you get it +1, not +2, because the intimidate still takes effect. You're not immune to it. Whereas this one, when you're running special, obviously we don't care about the intimidate, right, Zero?
Right, you just get that +2. It does activate only one time, just like Defiant.
Correct.
But you're getting more out of this one overall.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's talk about some stats, man. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, so first up on the docket, this is sort of your, like, stock standard, out the gate, go fast, hit hard. How do you make this bird do something fun and powerful? This is the offensive set. So, first up on the list, we have, you see the, we've got, you can run Volt Absorb, you can run Wind Power if you want, but I've got this one set up for competitive. I'm sort of putting my chips in the center that the meta will balance out as usual, and we'll see more intimidates in 3v3 soon. And then this is basically written for a generic, like, it can fit on any, this is like the everyman. This is the utility offensive set that could just fit on any squad, right? Go fast, hit hard.
Yeah, I like your item choice here. I definitely think that when you play this in 3v3, I think Choice Specs is an excellent shout.
Yeah,
and
base 105 special attack, not too shabby.
I love the Adrenaline Orb, man. Talk about it.
Yeah, so Adrenaline Orb is specifically when you get intimidated. Not when you get a stat drop, but when you specifically get affected by Intimidate, you gain +1 speed. And it's like a consumable item. It's a once per. It's not permanent.
+2 special attack. I like the setup here.
Yeah, so you get +1 speed, +2 special attack, and then this thing. And so, as you can see here, we have a special Ice Terra. So now we're going for like that triple stab build. So we're going to have stab electric, stab flying, and stab ice. So great coverage. We still get walled by steals, but again, like, you could potentially change that out. But for this build, I think it's good enough.
You're going for, like, this Terra is absolutely not for defense. This is strictly just to up those offenses, especially if you've got that competitive boost. We know that Bolt Beam is excellent coverage. It has been since Gen 4.
I want to shout out a potential alternate would be Fire.
Right.
So to make use of this thing, obviously, we're going to be running Timid because we want it as fast as possible. With that 125, we're going to be outspeeding everything. And even at modest 105 doesn't quite hit hard enough compared to when you just do neutral with specs. So you're going to be hitting a higher special attack with that anyway. So this is why we're running this spread. So for this one, you have the choice between either Thunderbolt or Electro Ball, depending on your preference, depending on what you think you might see in the meta or whatever. It's a flavor pick. But with 125 base speed, Electro Ball is actually really powerful, depending on the right matchup. But yeah, there is a potential to have a different electric move here, but basically these are the two that are like the most common, right? Thunderbolt's just cut and dry, like the most reliable.
Right, Electro Ball would be fun on like a Choice Scarf set, but this thing's so fast, like why are you scarfing? Why are you just going? Yeah. I mean, which is true. Like, it could be viable, then you could tear Ice Blast, Dragapult or something like that. But there are Scarf Pults out there.
There are. Sure. They do exist. So to round it out, obviously, you're never gonna leave home without the old handy dandy Volt Switch. We love pivots here, don't we, Zero?
Yeah. If you want to win games, you gotta have pivots.
Pivots, man. That's how you do it. So yeah, Volt Switch. S+, always has been, always will be. We're slapping on this bird too. And then Terra Blast, and your choice of flying move, Air Slash, Air Cutter, Hurricane. He has a lot of options. Just, whichever stab flying move you like. And you basically just go fast, hit hard. And obviously, if you are running Adrenaline Orb or even like Life Orb, you could replace one of these with Protect. Especially if you're running like VGC. Just a special shout out. But for the spec set, this thing is actually going to hammer some people. Another shout out that Doug made was that you could potentially also fill in that Terra grass, so that way you could take care of Gastros or Clodsires and stuff like that might come in and try to maul you.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
So, really fun set here. You ready to talk about the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So this is the set that I've actually been using on 2 of our 4 practice VGC squads right now on Showdown, getting ready for the ranked ladder. This is like my favorite set, bro. This is like my new favorite. This is the offensive utility bird, the offensive support. Now the exact set that I've been running is the Focus Sash variant with Protect, Tailwind, Thunderbolt, and Air Slash or Air Cutter. Again, depending on your squad or what you're trying to do. But that's what I've been running the most on to find the most success. It's been really, really good. So, base 125 speed. This is the fast. I'm pretty sure this is the fastest Tailwind we have in the meta.
Outside of Gale Wing's Talonflame.
Oh yeah, Gale. Oh, and then we do have Prankster Murkrow, which we've mentioned before. But in terms of regular speed, not priority, this is just like the stock standard go out. This is the best Tailwinder I've seen. I've been having so much success because if they don't see it coming and they don't put him into it, you can't die in one turn. So you're gonna get the Tailwind off, and it's just so powerful. It really, really makes a difference on so many teams to have such a fast Tailwind setter. I've been really enjoying it. And then Electric and Flying is great stab coverage. Really, really good, actually. Really, really handy coverage. Protect is great for VGC. If you're playing in a 3v3, this set can also work with Volt Switch because you Tailwind and then Volt Switch out to whoever wants to benefit from the Tailwind, you know?
Yeah, and I really like your Terra Electric here, removing some of your weaknesses, mostly to Rock and Ice, which are prevalent types in 3v3.
Yeah, especially for
VGC.
Especially for Stealth Rock.
Right, exactly. And that Terra Electric's really good. You could put Thunder on this in a rain team or something like that, which we will get to in a couple minutes. But yeah, I really like this Terra Electric.
Yeah. It's the low-hanging fruit option. There's obviously defensive options you could go with, which basically, you could go Terra Ground, or you could go Terra Steel is always a great option because then you're immune to rock, or not immune, but you resist rock and ice coming at you.
Yeah.
So there are other options, but if you want to just be able to have that insured, like, because late game, if this thing's saved on a sash, it can still hit really hard with Terra Electric Thunderbolts.
That's the beautiful thing about VGC is you build your Pokemon more specialized to what their niche is.
Correct.
And coverage is not as important on a Pokemon because you have to make room for Protect, so you mostly just go for like your stab moves, and then the partner, usually you build the team to cover the partner's weaknesses. So like,
correct.
You don't necessarily need all the top tier coverage. Sometimes just maximizing your damage output with stab moves is the best option, and that's what you've done here with the Terra Electric.
Well said. So, you ready to talk about this last move set? Because this one's an old Justin special.
This is the best one here, dude.
Oh, baby. So this is actually one, yes, I've actually played with this one. Also, these last 2 sets I've played with both, and they're both popping off great, putting in lots of work, hopefully coming to a channel near you. Stay tuned for that. Spoiler alert. This dude is like my new favorite offensive support in the entire game. Like, he is the Tailwinder. You're going to see him on our channel. Even if he's not the feature, you're still going to see him. Kilo! Let's do it. So, this is the new Geats. This is the new Zapdos Rainbird. So we have Stab Thunder, Stab Hurricane, and now Weather Ball. And then you can either do Protect, Volt Switch, Tailwind. We've already talked about all 3 of those. They provide the same utility here as they did before. All really good. You can run this as choice specs also. And you know what I mean? Thunder, Volt Switch, Hurricane, Weather Ball. Yeah, baby. Adrenaline Orb is great here. Life Orb is actually really, really good here. That's what we used to run on Kanto Zapdos. That was traditionally, that set was Protect 3 attacks with Life Orb. But again, in 3v3, we swapped out Protect for Volt Switch. So it's literally the same thing here. The difference is we have either Volt Absorb or Competitive, whereas Geats just had Static. So it wasn't... And comparatively, the abilities are better here, but Geats did have better special attack. So that's sort of the trade-off we're making. What do you think, Zero?
Yeah, I really like this set. Like you said, Stab, Thunder, and Hurricane. The fun part about this Pokemon right here, I have to mention, is Weather Ball. And because this Pokemon is so fast, unlike the other premier Weather Ball user, which happened to be a Venusaur back in Gen 8, Venusaur is not fast enough to run Weather Ball in anything but Sun. However, Kilowattrel here can run Weather Ball in any weather because it's so fast. So you can spec this out to have Weather Ball Sun, so fire, rock, ice, or water. You would just change your stab coverage depending on what the meta is. So,
yep. And what did we talk about earlier? In the first set, we said this could be Terra Ice, Terra Fire. We did say Grass. But, Terra Rock's not bad either. So, like, the same coverage we were talking about almost with that Terra set is the same coverage we're getting here with the Weather Ball. So, if you think about it, it's really just the same set, but you're using your opponent's momentum against them to get really good coverage on a really good bird.
Absolutely. I really like this Pokemon's access to Weather Ball. I think this is one of the better options to use Weather Ball with.
Absolutely. In my opinion, he's the premier Tailwind right now, pre-home meta. Mm-hmm. And he's one of, if not the premier Weather Ball users. Kilowattrel is amazing. Instantly one of my new favorites. Love the design. 9 out of 10 for the aesthetics. 10 out of 10 for the competitive viability. This Pokemon's great.
Absolutely underrated bird. This bird is on my in-game squad in Scarlet and Violet. I played through the game with this Pokemon.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. So let us know down below in the comments. We really appreciate you tuning in today. Let us in the comments down below what you think of Kilowattrel. Have you tried it? Have you tried it in 3v3s, VGCs, or even the Smogon tiers? What do you think of it so far? What set did you try? Positives, negatives? Let us know. We want to have this conversation with you. Check us out on all our socials. Plug all of those. Click all those buttons. Stay up to date with all the things that we got going on. We're really happy to keep going with these set guides. You people have really seemed to enjoy them. We really appreciate the support. Check us out on our podcast on Spotify. And until next time, I've been Gym Leader Justin.
And I'm Zero.
Council is adjourned.